We have really cool sessions planned for you, so I'm so happy that you're here to enjoy this one with us, with me. So, my name is Kiki, my pronouns are she, her, and I'm not great at drawing, but that's okay because I'm good at coloring. I enjoy that. And that's what we can do today because with me I have illustrator, comic book artist, and the creator of the cult phenomenon Belzebubs, JP Ahonen. Please give it a warm welcome!
Kiitos kaikille.
Hell yeah, we have 45 minutes with Yupe to get a little creative, color some postcards. If I didn't get to your table, there are more postcards over here in the first table, and you can get them afterwards as well. And we will, while we do that, we will peek behind the curtains of this very complex project that is Belzebubs, that has stolen the hearts of metalheads everywhere in the world. And while we do that, we will try to not summon too many demons. But before we go into Belzebubs, tell us a little bit more about the reason why we have these beautiful postcards. What is Dark Athenaeum about, and what was your motivation to recreate these, these pieces?
I forgot the coloring book. Wait a second. So yeah, in short, Dark Athenaeum is a pastiche coloring book I made with Tammi and Athenaeum. So I was basically commissioned to do this about a year ago. So my publisher from Tammi, Saara Tiuraniemi, called me and said that I know you're busy with Belzebubs and stuff, but hear me out. There's a project I want you to do, and I can't think of anyone else, more fitting. And yeah, I was on the other end of the phone thinking like, yeah, well, I'll politely listen, but then I have to decline. And she said that, yeah, these metal-related, sort of like dark humor pastiches of the Golden Age Finnish classics that are in the National Gallery and Athenaeum. And I was like, tonnin seteli, ilme. On the other end of the phone, like, shit, yeah, I can't pass this on because I love pastiches. I've been doing them since, the covers of my Villipi Pohjola comic books. There are numerous pastiches in Belzebubs calendars and stuff like that. So it's part of my artistic DNA in a way to meddle with others' arts and paintings and stuff. So yeah, long story short, I got like just free hands basically to pick my favorites from everything that's in the National Gallery, Finnish iconic paintings, etc. And then I think I shortlisted maybe 30 paintings and sent them over, crude sketches first to Tammi and Athenaeum, and they were like, yeah, we love these. So yeah, that's it in short. And I just came to Tuska from Athenaeum. I was there doing a guided tour, well, two actually, like one in Finnish and one in English, where we went through these paintings in the gallery, and yeah, I talked about some of the motivations and inspirations and stuff like that.
Yeah, can you tell us one of the stories that you just told at the guided tour?
Guided tour. Do you have a favorite? Like, what should I?
What about the ones that are on the table right now?
Right. Yeah. So, well, one of my favorites is, of course, well, you'll see it on the table. The Wounded Angel. My version, of course, Wounded Demon. Very self-explanatory. Where that idea came from, but yeah. For this one, I first had this idea of having very, generic metalheads carrying the demon and stuff with, battle vests and stuff. And then I realized that, no, I need to make them, these black metal dudes with corpse paint and stuff. It'll go better hand in hand with the demon and stuff.
Yeah, did you know that that's also the motif for the cover art of the new Lost Society album.
No, I didn't. Okay.
You should check it out.
Awesome. Yeah, yeah. It was funny, like before starting this project, I had just done a pastiche of that, a specific painting for the Belzebubs animated series. So in episode 10, there's a scene in a gallery where you'll see that version of the pastiche.
Oh, damn.
Yeah. So I was like, yeah, I know what to do with this one.
So now we're looking
Yeah.
for an Easter egg in the TV series.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Can we go onwards to Belzebubs now? Because
Sure.
they're turning 10 years now.
Yeah, yeah, it's
Paljon
quite
onnea.
crazy. Kiitos, kiitos. Yeah.
And it started as a cartoon on social media. It has now published 2 comic books,
Yeah.
calendars, merch, an album with a real metal label. The second album is coming soon.
Yeah, yeah, it's been ready for quite a while now. The problem is that I've been juggling the animated series, which is now coming out in September on Yle and Yle Arena, and then finalizing the music videos for the release of the second album. But yeah, everything is just on top of each other, and I'm the bottleneck of that project because yeah, I don't have like a big company or crew behind the music video and band stuff. It's yeah, I've been so hands tied with the animated series, so that's always postponed the other things, unfortunately.
Yeah. These are so many things. There are like so many layers to Belzebubs. Can we go
Yeah,
a little bit more in detail through
yeah,
through all of them and how everything got started?
yeah. So in a, in a nutshell, 10 years ago, I started Belzebubs as a self-therapy project to sort of ease my way out of a depression and burnout. Well, burnout and then the depression that followed. And that originally started in 2015 as just an Inktober challenge. Are you familiar with the Inktober thing? Yes, I see some heads nodding. But in short, it's a challenge online where in October you're supposed to ink some drawing with the hashtag Inktober and post one per day online. And I believe, might be mistaken, but I've understood that the sort of like the original idea of that challenge is to perfect your inking skills and stuff. And at that time, I wasn't looking into perfecting anything. I wanted to loosen up because I had gotten so crippled with the burnout that I couldn't, I was just, so sort of locked, and the drawing, the writing, everything was taking so much time that I needed to either like change profession or just loosen up. And I was actually like looking into packing up my pencils and becoming a nurse, and I was looking at some schools and stuff like that. But some of my friends were participating in Inktober, and I thought that, well, I could use this challenge just to, force myself to loosen up, have fun, improvise something on paper, and blurt it out. And for some reason, the first thing I improvised were these 2 black metal dudes, very cartoony, commenting on another's shirt, which has dried vomit, and the other one mistakes that for a band logo. And yeah, I thought that, well, this was fun. Like, instead of reinventing the wheel tomorrow, I'll make black metal a sort of overarching theme for all these Inktober things. And since I wanted these images to be found quickly online, if someone wants to see my Inktober set, I came up with the hashtag Belzebubs. So that's like the origin of the whole name of that concept. I managed to maybe to do 20 or so, like just one-off gags or comics, and then I got swept away with work again. But the sort of idea that having my own self-therapy thing, like a project just for myself without any pressure or like time sensitivity, felt nice. So the following spring in 2016, I thought about it more. I started concepting the characters and their relationships more, and yeah, then I inked maybe 40 strips and scheduled them online on Facebook, and that started in September 2016. Just coming on a weekly basis, and I thought that absolutely no pressure. I'm doing this for myself. And if I get 666 followers, that'll be enough and I'll be happy. But for some reason, it started going viral in like half a year or something.
I'm so sorry to interrupt. I'm
Yeah.
not sure if we should be watching this already, or is this
No, this is, yeah. Yep,
this is what
this is
we
fine. Yeah. So
are
this
not
is,
supposed to watch just
no, no,
yet?
no, no, this is fine. Yeah, this is
Okay.
from our second music video, a glimpse of that. There's a slideshow that's going on in the background.
All right, all right.
Yeah. Sort of like depicting all these different branches, what Beelzebubs nowadays is and stuff. So, yeah.
Because we have something, a little secret that we will share later.
Yeah, if you're good boys and gals and all that.
And color nicely.
Yeah,
inside
yeah.
the lines, please.
yeah, I'll pass around the tables and watch. Yeah. Yeah, but let's see if we have time for it, hopefully. Yeah, where was I? Yeah, since it was my first webcomic, I like immediately thought that it would be nice to sort of play around with the possibilities of animation and sound and stuff you can do in a webcomic and not in print. And my first idea was that I'd growl and well sing something myself and play the guitars and then do crappy drums on GarageBand or whatever and animate something crudely on my own in one of the comics and stuff. And that sort of well never happened because I was always so last minute with the comics and had like proper freelance gigs on the side. But at some point, a musician friend of mine asked um, that, do you need help? Like I have like a bunch of demos we could, juggle around with. And yeah, so we started plotting by the two of us, and I made these storyboards of music videos and stuff. And then when it really started going viral, like there was a big fan base like building up, we started thinking that okay, are we plotting this a bit too small? Like, should we just make proper demos and send that over to some record labels? And yeah, luckily Century Media was immediately on board. Basically, they they just said that, yeah, when can we call you? We're really interested in this, and demos sound good and all that. But their sort of vision of Belzebubs was that it could be like short songs, like punkish and very, very crude. Well, ours is more, symphonic, progressive, long songs, and all that. So very different from their vision. But yeah, and I understand. Like one of the problems with the music videos is that, for example, on the second album, I think one of the shortest songs is 5 minutes something. So that's a lot of animating, and animation costs a ton. So I'm constantly, uh, urging that it doesn't matter if we have those 50-minute songs, as long as we had have some like shorter ones for the music videos. But yeah, not happening apparently.
Right. Can you tell us a little bit more about the specific characters? Are there some real life characters that you have depicted into your stories?
Well, there aren't really like real life characters, apart from a few sort of like cameo roles. Um, the characters came first and like had their own identities and like designs and all that. And yeah, when we started the band stuff as well, it, it was actually a suggestion from the band that yeah, this could be played incognito, so that we sort of don't focus on the comparison, like, is this musician just as, Hobbit, the bass player, or Sloth, the singer, and etc. But we have more room for uh, building building story arcs and characters and all that. But yeah, mm, i in its core, Belzebubs is a story about, well, Sloth, this stay-at-home dad who's striving to, be a good father, the perfect husband, and like push his black metal band Belzebubs forward. Something that he's been dreaming about since his childhood, but unfortunately, he's gotten his first kid, as well in his teens. So a teenage pregnancy that sort of like ends his well pretty shit like career path, but um, but yeah, now that the kids are aging and not in need of constant care and stuff, like now he's trying to kickstart the band again and all that. So we have Sloth, his wife Lucy, who's art director and an artist, and then we have Lilith, daughter, who's around 16, and Leviathan, who's like 9, 10, depending on the comic, and then Sloth's band consists of Hobbit, the bass player, Obisix, lead guitarist, and Samael, who plays drums.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And just in the descriptions of the main characters, you have already touched on different topics. And that is something that I really respect about artists that stand up for their values.
Mm.
And you can see how those have shaped your narratives and your storytelling. We have a stay-at-home dad
Yeah.
and a woman breadwinner.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's a non-traditional couple already.
Yeah.
And then I always giggle and I love this character of the daughter's best friend.
Yeah. Blasphemy. Yes.
And how she seems to me to be either bi, and happy pride by the way,
Yeah.
or but she is kind of attracted to Lilith as well, and
Yeah.
a little flirty,
Yeah.
and so you are already making the stories, the family, the whole thing so diverse.
Yeah.
Tell us more about that.
Yeah. Cool. I'm happy to hear it resonates, because that is something like I feel Beelzebubs, has that satanic core in that sense that you should do your own thing, focus on that, be liberal and like open-minded, and something it's I'm actually like using the characters' culture and the black metal and the corpse paints and stuff. I'm using that as an allegory for all kinds of minorities in today's society, like be it from a different culture or a different way of living that might, for the majority, feel threatening or weird or whatever. So yeah, they meet a lot of prejudice from the outside, but they're sort of like liberal and fine with people being how they are. So that's one key element I want to like sort of lift in the comic. And the other one is, of course, yeah, shifting those stereotypes and making it not like a big issue. Like it's fine. You shouldn't be like amazed by something like that. And it was actually funny when I was, well, I'm the head writer of the upcoming series and stuff. We have other script writers as well, but all the feedback was coming through me to the script writers. And we had a Canadian elder elderly man who's been well writing scripts for TV for a long time, but it was so weird, getting that feedback that felt like it was from the 50s. Like, yeah, why can't Lucy stay home? That Sloth can, tour. And I was like, fuck you. Like, no, this is not the point of the series. So, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah. So it's surprising, but yeah, yeah. We stood our ground. We did our own thing, and it looks well. Yeah, as the comics, it's both raunchy, it's silly, it's violent at times, and but still weirdly, I don't know, wholesome, if if you can say that,
Yeah.
and all that.
Yeah. And I think that's the goal, what you were just saying. For them it's normal.
Yeah,
It should be normal for all of us.
exactly. Yeah,
Everything should be normal. We shouldn't be othering people for their anything, for the way they
yeah,
look, for the way they for the people they choose to love, etc.
yeah,
And
exactly this.
another thing that you touch on as well in your comics is religion,
Yeah,
which is also very brave.
yeah.
And what type of feedback have you gotten? Have you gotten about that?
Well, I feel like I feel I personally and Belzebubs gets hate from both, black metal purists and then religious folk. So yeah, uh, but that's just the way. Like I'm doing something new, different, and apparently, yeah, something forbidden from both sides. But yeah, oddly enough, I haven't gotten that much, feedback from. There's been a few religious people who have written to me that, yeah, you're doing the Dark Lord's work, and converting people into Satanism and other stuff. And I'm like, yeah, isn't that cool? But then there was also one guy from, I think, Argentina. Yeah, wrote to me in Spanish, like long private message on Facebook. And I was like, no, so I'm sorry, I don't speak Spanish. And yeah, another long post, and I was like, oh, like clearly he has something to say or ask. I'll translate it. And the rough translation was like, is this the call? Are we going into battle to, fight the religious people? And I was like, if Satan wanted to touch base with you, I don't think he'd, come through Facebook in the form of a comic. But yeah. And then he was like, ah, wimp. Yeah.
That is hilarious.
Yeah. 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 You never know. Yeah. Yeah. I could be the devil.
The lords have mysterious ways, I guess, both up and down or something.
Yeah.
That's great, because how I perceive it is it's the young son, Leviathan, who has gone Christian.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
but the family still
Yeah.
awkwardly, like if it would be the other way, in a Christian
Yeah.
family and you're not a Christian, you might get backlash from the family. But in this family, it's
Yeah.
like, sure, just let him do his thing.
Yeah. He's rebelling. That's normal. Like, yeah, get it out of his system.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's another thing. Like, I want the family to be supportive of one another and like give that space for them to test, try out new things and all that. And yeah, then there's of course Nana, the grandmother, who's not too keen on Leviathan's Christian phases and stuff. But that's also in order to give that sort of depth and different layers of religion or whatever your belief system is and all that.
Yeah. A little more authenticity, that's the word.
Yeah,
as well.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, and it goes both ways. For example, in the animated series, you'll see different sort of mm, satanic cults or layers of how deeply you are into that particular way of life, and then you have like normal folk who don't uh, judge the bubs in any way, and then you have like really religious zealots as well. So yeah, the spectrum.
Yeah. That's a good segue to maybe. Do you think they have been nice people?
Nice, yeah.
Do
If
you
I can
think
trust you
people
guys.
want to watch something exclusive?
Huh?
Yes, come
Okay,
on.
right, yeah. So yeah, I've prepared 2 clips for you guys from the upcoming animated series, and yeah. Sadly, we can't stream that,
Mm-hmm.
and
Yeah, that's our cue to turn off the video for
Yeah.
the next 5 minutes.
yeah.
And we have, well, just a few, so maybe we can also go back to the series. What are your favorite bands, black metal or any other genre?
Yeah. So well, yeah. Where to start? Well, sort of, I listen to all sorts of bands and all kinds of music, but I think like the three that I usually always go back to in a way are Opeth, Porcupine Tree, okay, four, Tool, and Pain of Salvation. So my background is more in like progressive metal and stuff, and then I've like sort of leered from there to death metal and black metal and all that. So, but yeah, yeah, that's it in a nutshell, I'd say.
Cool.
Yeah,
And on the other side of favorites, what are your favorite TV family sitcoms?
probably Modern Family if you didn't like see see the comparison. One fan actually said that Belzebubs is sort of like Adam's Family meets Modern Family, and I was like,
Yeah.
okay, we're using that as a as a
Yes.
tagline as well, because yeah, it's very fitting. But yeah, I haven't really watched that many sitcoms or shows like for the past 15 years, just been so busy with other things. And I noticed that um, if I watch shows, movies, read books, they start sort of like influencing my own work a bit too much. I start, dissecting those movies, like, okay, how does this work? Should I incorporate something like that in my own stuff and
Mhm.
etc. So like uh, I sort of need to stick to music, and I've noticed that maybe it's this progressive metal and concept albums and all that sort of forward going thinking in a lot of bands that sort of has influenced my art, and then I feel like when I'm doing music, then it's sort of influenced from comics and storytelling. So it's a weird sort of mix.
Wow,
Yeah,
that's really cool. I wanted to ask about the voices
yeah,
that we just heard on the
yeah,
clips.
yeah.
Very British.
Yes, yeah, and that was a choice. Like we wanted, I was actually like thinking out loud that could we have Scottish accents, like,
Oh.
yeah, for the Bubs, because that would have brought a new layer of character
Hmm.
for them. But yeah, in the end, we actually have a few from Scotland, I think, in the cast. But yeah, then we opted that we'll just use like English, and
Hmm.
then depending on characters, there are a few accents here and there in different episodes as well. And and yeah, we have a fantastic Finnish voice cast as well because Wiley wants a Finnish version naturally as well, but that will be announced later, like during summer or early autumn. So yeah,
All right,
yeah,
so I was not about to ask because
yeah,
I don't know the Finnish celebrities, but
yeah,
do
yeah.
they have would they have any regional accent in Finnish?
I don't know actually because well, there are a few characters I've written so that might have a Helsinki stadin slangi and stuff, but I don't know. It depends on what uptempo the dubbing agency has done. Like there is one cameo, one musician. I said that okay, if this accent is not good, then we can try out with his sort of like natural poliento way of talking. So let's see how that works out. But yeah, I haven't heard. I've only heard the demo tapes and well what we got when we chose the actors, but I haven't heard a like a full on radio play of any of the Finnish episodes yet.
Interesting. Maybe
Mm.
that's how I'm going to learn Finnish now, watching Belzebubs in
Yeah, yeah,
Finnish.
of course, yeah.
Someone in the audience has found similarities to. Can we also please have the QR code back on the screen so that people can submit a few more questions? Someone has found similarities to your past comics, like Perkeros.
Mm.
Was that also part of what inspired you with Belzebubs and the animated series?
What was the actual question? What?
Was Perkeros also an
Oh,
inspiration,
right.
guess,
Yes.
for Belzebubs?
Yeah, I think Perkeros was part of the reason I got burnt out. so, but there are definitely like ideas that worked for Perkeros and sort of like stashed ideas I wanted to explore when, well, because Perkeros was originally meant as a three book series, like a trilogy, but yeah, that didn't pan out. So I've used some ideas in the series and in the comics and all that. And yeah, there might be some topics or things from Vilnipi Pohjola as well, but I think that it's always interesting to throw that same old idea and then see how it pans out with new characters and a new sort of like thematic.
Nice.
Yeah.
Someone else wants to know, are there plans for live concerts at the moment?
Yeah, so that is still in the cards, and I really hope we get to that point. That's some stage, like because we were supposed to play here in 2020 and all that, but yeah, then we got slapped with just an enormous amount of debt from the pre-production costs. No way to sort of dig us up from that. So it has been a long way to sort of dig us up from that debt and yeah, now I'm sort of like scared to make any plans. So yeah, one piece of the cake at a time. Like first the animated series, then the second album out, and then I hope there'll be a nice spot for the live shows as well. Plus, I'd need to find someone else to carry that weight of the project because yeah, I'm only one man, and
Yeah.
this is already a bit too much.
And talking about delegating, someone wants to know, do you do the animations yourself or do you work with a studio?
Yeah, yeah, I'm not doing all that on my own, obviously. So Pajama Films is the Turku-based animation studio who's leading the project. And since it's an international production, we have companies from Italy, Spain, and the Canary Islands on board as well, and some pre-sales for the show. So it'll be aired in Italy, Spain, Czech, Iceland, and hopefully like other countries. So so yeah, it's a big production. There are like tens of people, hundreds of people on board doing stuff. I've been the showrunner, head writer, uh, concept artist, uh, helping out, as an assistant director, pitching the project, etc. So yeah, wearing way too many hats as it is already. Oh yeah, and I've done some animation as well. Like so. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is a lot of jobs, yeah.
Yeah.
But there must be some rewarding things to that. What's the best feedback you have gotten for your work?
What's the best feedback? There are lots. Like it depends on who I talk to and stuff. Usually it's people who reach out and say that my comics have helped them through dark time, or that since this was a sort of salvaged me from the depression and burnout and like even like suicidal thoughts and all that. It's somehow really rewarding and heartwarming if I can be there for other people through my art in some way, be it the albums or the comics or in the future maybe this thing. So yeah, it's very humbling.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really important that we. Thank you. It's really important that we take care of ourselves and that we take care of each other. And we are very big about talking about mental health. Thank you so much for opening up and for sharing with us. Thank you so much for sharing your heart's work with the world in the form of these comics. And if that's what you have already heard from fans, I'm sure that there are many people who have felt the same, and you're not hearing about that.
Yeah.
So people stay healthy and take care of yourselves and of each other.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Ipe, for the session. This
Thank you.
was really
Yeah.
amazing. Thank you so much for giving us so much insight into your creative process, into Belzebubs. We know that very cool things are coming. Obviously, all the best for you
Thank
on
you.
that one. Hopefully, we will see Belzebubs on the Tuska stage soon.
I hope so. I certainly hope so. So yeah, thanks everyone for being here. Yeah, it was a pleasure. And yeah, cheers.
Don't forget to take some postcards with you that you can color at home. They're right here. And yeah, also, if you want to get your hands on the Dark Athenaeum coloring book, it's sold at the museum.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes, and online as well, of course.
Yeah,
Thank you so much. Thanks, everyone.
Thank
In
you.
15 minutes, we will be back with a very, very special session.